Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today we're going to do something kind of fun and kind of different. We are going to be drawing a horse step by step. I'm going to show you how to draw this horse step by step, and then we're going to talk a bit about...
Your mic is going... Oh, hi guys.
Well.
We had a whole bunch of mic popping. Sorry about that. Sorry. We start over. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just had a panic because everything was popping. Hi guys, we're still live. Yeah, I'm going to fix...
Let's fix my mic.
Something's going weird. It's all...
It's a weird day. It's a weird day. It's a weird day. Live stream. It's a live stream. You know what? We're such a hot mess. You will never wonder if I'm AI, will you? You're never going to be like, is that a real person? Because I have too many real people problems going on all the time. Hopefully, John is fixing my mic and I'm not popping noise into your ear. That would be my goal. Today's goal was to show you guys step by step how to draw this horse, and also talk a little bit about using acrylic as watercolor so that during part 2 we can paint this gorgeous horse that we've drawn ourselves. I do have a traceable. It's already on the website, so you don't have to do part 1 if you're like, I really don't like drawing. But some of you guys have been asking some questions, and I looked to see if there was like really great how to draw horse tutorials out there, and I was like, oh my goodness, there isn't. I keep seeing that. I think I'm gonna have John just make me sit down and do some simple how to draw horse head videos for you guys, because I feel like we need some. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is how to draw a horse head.
All right. I got an idea. Hold on just a second here. No, I'm going to fix that just a second. I think I may have a...
The whole time?
No, it was... I think what it was is that there was a... My receiver here was about just to die.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the paper that I'm working on.
I think you'll be okay.
This fabulous paper is the 1264 multimedia pad. I use it all the time in my studio. 1264 Fabriano multimedia pad. You're going to see them everywhere. It has a perforated edge, and the perforated edge measures 9 by 12, so that this paper and the watercolor paper we're going to be using for our project, which is this paper here, also Fabriano. Can you tell I've got a trend going on? So we're going to be using this watercolor paper. A note on this, and the other reason I wanted you guys to have a break between the how to draw and some watercolor techniques and us doing the horses, every once in a while I do acrylics as watercolor, and they're very successful. This paper is about 50% of why they're successful. There's a sizing on it, the fact that it's in a block where all the edges are glued together so the buckling doesn't happen, so you can do wet into wet techniques, and the fact that it's already pre-keyholed or open for you so you can pull the pages off the pad. So that's what we're going to be painting on, but we're going to do our sketching, our thoughtful sketching on our paper. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I wanted to use just a regular pencil. I didn't want you guys to feel like, oh, I'm going to need to have a crazy pencil or an extreme pencil. This is a Gudetama HB pencil. This is basically your school pencil.
Step 1?
Yeah, and so let's throw up step 1, and I'm pencil, paper, sketch, and set. Now listen, here's the trick to drawing. When we're young and we start to practice our drawing skills, we often do that in a grade school or kindergarten situation, and sometimes we get made fun of for our drawings, which are actually pretty awesome, but sometimes people don't recognize their awesomeness when they're happening, and then we feel self-conscious. And then we stop drawing and we start defining ourselves as people who are not artistic or capable of drawing. So I'm going to take you back to when I was a girl and I really wanted to learn how to draw horses. Oh, I don't know if you want me to stop talking.
Here, just hold a second.
That was pretty slick. My battery is in. Woo!
Sorry about that.
Ready to teach drawing now? Okay, so no, I'm not a... You know what? I shouldn't make that joke because pretty soon that won't be funny, right? Pretty soon, ready to teach drawing now, be like... Is that real? But
sorry, you guys know, you'll know you know our live, you know we're live because we have these things. So I'm sorry.
So I'm going to take you back to when I was a kid, and there was a series of Foster books, Walter Foster, How to Draw and Paint Horses. And I used to pore over those books. You can sometimes find them online and at garage sales. And they really broke down the anatomy of a horse into its basic shapes and taught really good fundamental drawing skills. And I do sometimes see people do his drawing method online incorrectly and not crediting him. So I want to make sure that I shout out where I got this methodology. But it's about the idea of I don't initially worry about contour line drawing, which is the outside line or edge of an object, but I worry about the shapes or overall structure of an object and how it fills up the paper and the way those shapes relate to each other, and then refine details and then get to my outer line drawing, which becomes my traceable. So let's first start with the basic shape of our horse, right? And I'm going to measure in a little bit my picture plane. Why am I doing that? Why am I measuring in my picture plane? Well, that's just so I know how my object is on the paper. And I'm going to just abstractly do this for myself. Otherwise, where do I stop? Do I stop off the edge? Do I stop at the top? Do I stop in the middle? Where does my object go? You need a roadmap when you're drawing. Parameters in which you work in.
We keep getting this weird click.
I don't know what to do about the weird click. Or hold on.
I don't think it's us. I think it's...
Weird clicking day.
Yeah, it's very...
So
it's very strange. I'm not sure what it's coming from. I think it's an outside influence, not us.
Is it a terrible click? Is it interfering with the stream?
Yeah.
It's buffering for people.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Everything, there's a lot of electronic interference. I'm seeing other stuff go kind of weird here too. So all my wireless stuff is clicking. Let me see what's going on. There must be a...
Do we need to do a stream reboot or stream record and release for technical challenge?
It may, but it may reset here in just a second too. Yeah, it says that it's buffering too. I can see it buffering up, but
live streams,
guys. This is one of those things.
Oh man, I disparaged the AI and it got me.
Well, you know, we may need to do more uploads here, because what I've noticed is at the beginning of these videos, sometimes it gets a bad connection, it buffers up, and then somewhere it's fine for the rest of the video. Ruining
your video experience, right? That's what it is. But I want to do something for the people who showed up today, but not if they're having to listen to clicking and buffering.
Well, what we can do is we'll see about getting this fixed.
Yeah, James GSR is like, yep, buffering.
We're going to see how this does, but we can... man, I do not know. It's not... this is not within my control. This is an outside...
Can they even hear you, though? Are you talking into the void, or...?
Well, I'm talking into a caching recording that looks like it's clearing. Oh, it's going back down now. Okay, so this is what I mean. For whatever reason, it has this trouble where it... and now the stream is... It should be all the way getting back to normal now. Like, I'd be willing to bet that it's going to go back to a complete normal stream here. Because it's all debuffered and it looks like we're caching okay now.
After we do this, let's make a short how to draw horse video so they at least have a how to draw horse video that isn't buffering.
Absolutely.
We'll do like a short.
We can do a short.
We'll do a short. K Arts is it my Wi-Fi or the vid? It is definitely the vid. It's definitely the YouTube end of things. It's definitely the stream. It's not you. It's it's definitely the video is having its moment. And sometimes that's what it is in a live stream. And what you have to do is, whether you're in your studio and a drawing goes weird on you, or whether I'm in my studio and the stream goes weird on me, what you don't want to do is let weirdness like stun lock you from your overall goal. So that's the big thing we're going to try to not do. Just to recap, I measured using my T-square ruler inside my paper, creating a little interior boundary. And I did this because I need to know where to start and stop my drawing. I don't want to take it to the edges of the paper. I want a little bit of white on the outside. I do that too for my watercolor. I tape it. So there's framing space, and so there's also a picture plane that I'm working with it.
Yeah.
Right. And as long as I kind of do it in the same measurements, I can keep a similar aspect ratio and it doesn't throw my whole drawing off. I'm going to draw a little darker than I'm going to want you to draw, and I'm going to draw a little sketchier. But we're just going to talk about the concept of how we do this. And again, there's a traceable. So if this isn't of interest to you, you could just skip video 1 and show up Saturday for video 2 with your image transferred onto your paper. If you don't know how to do that, I created a video how to trace or transfer an image on. And honestly, I think it's the best one out there for just knowing how to use the transfer method. It's like 15 minutes and it really just shows you. And if you never had ever had tracing explained to you, and also it's not cheating, especially because of this, because you don't freehand on watercolor paper. That stuff is expensive and you don't want to erase, change your mind, have sketch lines, have any of that. You want to be able to work that out all here on the page, and then using tracing paper or copy paper even, transfer it over with the line rubbing on the back. And I made an example for you so you can see what I mean about using copy paper. Think about
Give me just a second. Your mic is acting kind of weird for a second. Oh, I think so too.
I think we have to redo this video.
We probably do, but we still got folks here, so we can hang out for a minute.
We're gonna hang out for a minute, but I think
we've got there's something very strange going on because all the mics are keep popping, and I can see the signals dropping in and out.
Is there a solar flare?
Man, who knows?
I haven't checked any of these. I haven't checked Astrium or any of the YouTube channels that cover anything about the sun.
Darcy
I have not been paying
I can hear the
attention.
clicking too, Darcy. I don't know what it is. We're just not sure.
Some people say some people don't have any clicking, and some people have
it's
clicking.
I'm not
so it's like a psychological experience. Wouldn't this be dumb if this was some hack? Do you guys ever think like the hackers are just ridiculous people with their hacks? Like they'll be like, we hacked Facebook. To what? Annoy me with my post uploads? Because that's all that happened. My post wouldn't upload correctly. It'll be like really funny stuff. I wonder if it's like maybe they're working on the lines?
I don't know. I'm
going to just guess random things that I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can hear every time it clicks. I can hear it, guys. I don't know where it's coming from because it doesn't. The signal doesn't. There it goes. Yeah. See, it doesn't seem to be a signal.
I think we should re-record this video.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna re-record.
I'll show you something real quick.
Show
just
us.
for those of you guys that came live, and then for those of you that came live, I'm going to record this video the way I intended to have this video and release it because the clicking is not going to work for replayability. I don't expect you guys to do that. But let's talk a little bit about.
Yeah.
And I'll turn this into maybe you record the overhead.
Oh, somebody says yes. Serious solar storms.
Oh.
Sharon. Yeah.
Well, there's no doing video when there's solar storms.
Well, I guess that would explain some of it.
Let me show you some real quick.
All right, show something.
And with bad noise and everything.
And I'll
All
think about wiring a mic up.
I'm gonna just do this here, and we're gonna think about how we're gonna get this recording in. And I'm just gonna hang out with you guys live because you showed up for the live, and you should at least come away with some information. When you're drawing a horse, the basic concept would be the old Walter Foster way, and I'll make a short video of this too. Is you make a big circle. I like to go over it several times to sort of form that circle and harden the line. See that circle there?
I do.
And then you're going to come down. I like to come down a little space out because if I don't come out a little space out, you're going to make a slightly smaller circle and you're going to connect these. Right? And this actually creates the first shape of a horse's head, which is this little, what are these called, this particular geometric shape? It actually has a factual...
A cone?
Yeah, it's kind of an opening cone shape. Now, the horse's neck, actually, believe it or not, comes out, and I'm going to do kind of a thick one, from that cone fairly connected to what is this large jaw plate line, right? Now, here's what a lot of people have a little trouble struggling to tell everyone, right? The ear is always going to be up the jawline, set right about here, because it's connected to that structure, right? So if I want to place an ear, I'm going to take an opening and I'm going to make a little triangle that opens up and closes like a little diamond shape. See a little diamond shape there? And then I connect it to the outer plate of that ear. It's never really that hard to make an ear. And I'm going to marry this to another little ear that's from the outside edge, right? So everything inside here is the opening of the horse's ear. These can rotate forward and pin all the way back this direction, and they can do so independently, which makes them sort of a fun structure to draw. Then as I'm coming down here, depending on if I want this horse to be a warm blood, a draft, or thoroughbred, or an Arabian. So like, here's an Arabian. An Arabian's nose dishes in. So we want to dish that in and bring that up to the forehead, right? Then when we come out to this nostril here, we're going to point it up, bring it out to this little lip, which bisects about halfway across this lower ball. I like to make a little line. And down here, I'm going to add another more thoughtful little ball down there. This is the very expressive chin, right? And believe it or not, it kind of often bowls out. Then I'm going to dish this and think about this line a little stronger. You know, and what we're doing is we're just making sure that you guys who showed up for the live get something. Now, one of the things I always see people do is they put the eye up too high or too low. So I'm going to come through here. I'm going to bring a line that's connecting those. Right? And I'm going to bring an eye up nicely centered in the head. I need room for a temple. The eye arcs forward. I'm not even looking at the reference right now. I'm just talking about basic construction of a horse. Right? Then this little nostril is in perspective. This one right here is, I like to think of it as like a number 6, but basically is this wonderful little shape right there. The forelock, the growth of it ends right about here. So anything I do there will start about here and work from there. And then there's mane, whose growth pattern tends to be very much like a wave in perspective. I always think of as horses' manes is you're really sort of painting a flowing wave in perspective. So like if they had tossed the mane, I would curl it back. You can do them long or short. It's not important. Also here, there's the important airway, which generally you're always sort of playing with. It comes down here. This little sucker is the breathing tube, and it is defined on almost every breed of horse. So then when you get a whole horse done, what you can do is come in and you can find these little lines that you have. I don't need to define that whole jawline. This part is the contour. If the horse is not in 3/4 or twisted like our example horses, which I'm going to come back and do another video that's not clicking, right? This is just for the people who put up with the solar disrupted live stream. And it's going to actually go away after this live. So this is a it's not quite a Markiplier disappearing video, but once we do this, we're gonna pull it down and re-record it. So it's just, you had to be here to see this.
Yeah.
See that right there? Let's look at that little nostril expression. And I always think it's nice to remind myself that there is this capacity for air right here. Right? Oh, nice big chest coming off here because our little dude can run. Bringing the neckline back here. And again, that's just the basic construct. Bring this in. And I'll have to do the one from our reference as a recorded one that isn't getting solar interference. Seems so unlikely. Shade the inside of the ear. Another thing you can do is you can bring a little bit of the line of the jaw forward. And sometimes, depending on if the horse is at an outstretched position or if the horse is gathered, what's called gathered, the horse that we see in the reference up here that I'm going to re-record this video to draw exactly that horse was gathered. So that means the head is tucked in and there's a bend to the neck and the shoulders are forward. And we're also seeing the horse in full 3/4 position, which is a more challenging way to draw. But I thought you guys might be like, since we're all stuck today anyways, interested in what you might do if you were drawing a horse from the side since you came to the live stream that was not the live stream. And let's be silly over here and be like, what happened to our thing? Will be a little angry son that has messed up. He's got some solar mood happening. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now with this technology mess up. Because this like threw me. But you know what you do when you get thrown? You just roll with it. Here we go. Okay. So John and I are going to have to get to the drawing board and record this lesson and see if we can upload it because the solar winds are going to mess with live streams today. And I'll probably have this video dropped by Friday. Or right before the live stream on Saturday. If you are using the traceable, you're going to want to get the image onto your paper for Saturday. Again, I'm still going to put out the drawing video because I'm nothing if not stubborn. And you're going to want it to be lightly on here in pencil. So it's lightly on. And I like to tape off the borders on my watercolor paper so that I have a little bit of white for framing and I have the horse framed in a little bit. And I will, in the video that we record, also have a segment on how to use the acrylic as watercolor. Acrylic can do watercolor techniques on watercolor paper. Again, the watercolor paper is such a big deal. Angela's like, I can't even do super chat. I love that you guys are like trying to do super chat on our hot mess live stream. But the nice thing about doing live streams is you guys know you're always dealing with a real person in a real space that's actually happening. I'm going to be real candid with you. With the new advancements in video AI, that's going to get harder and harder and harder to tell. And I'm absolutely sure that the little tells that people are sort of holding on to is like a teddy bear would be of like, I'll know when it's artificial. It can do fingers. It can do, I saw one that does micro expressions to a level that it's more real than reality. So to be with authentic creators, you're going to kind of have to like recognize like these little moments almost as blessings, because the one thing that super smart technology isn't is as susceptible to all of these little life challenges that we human beings are. So at least it'll be a nice way for us to know that that's us together. I say this now because I think that's going to be changing so radically over the next 6 months, don't you?
I do. I think there's a lot of changes coming.
So that's my 2 cents on that. And I will absolutely, Deborah Evans, have how to draw exactly the horse up here on the recorded one. I just wanted to show you guys this basic concept because you stayed in for the solar flare hot mess live stream, which it's gonna go away right after
I already pushed the button to delist it.
Yeah, so you were here and you saw this weird moment and had this weird conversation with me. So if you want to ask me something that is definitively not going to be kept, it would be a good time to do that. Lavinia Squire says, can I use watercolor pencil? Not only can you use watercolor pencil, it will work beautifully with this particular project. So absolutely you could use watercolor pencil with this. You could use watercolor with this. We're just going to use watercolor.
Wow, it's crazy pop.
Is it just...
It's popping now. It didn't pop when you were teaching, but it is popping now.
Oh, and then Marlene says too much of the time on and weather is probably affecting the coverage bouncing around the satellites. And let's be honest, the satellites up there are not a tidy, organized little group of ducks in a nice little row. Like when they show us the animation of like Elon satellites, they're like, look at them in a little row. And then when you see actual pictures from space, it's like, it looks like Sanford's and Sons up there. It's just crazy. Not organized. Like, I'm just surprised the stuff isn't bouncing into each other and creating all kinds of more trouble than it does. I don't know how, honestly, we're going to get to the moon. Like, now the mathematicians have to do extra math to avoid the stuff that's flying up there because there's so many satellites that are still going to be impacted by solar flares. It's such a weird world. Like, the technology's become so advanced as to be, man, I hate to use the word magical, but it's starting to feel almost magical. Mm-hmm. The technology is so advanced that it's like magic. But it's still so completely fragile and susceptible to things like an angry sun.
I hope it can someday be like, here's why your microphone is clicking. Let me help you fix it.
Yeah, I hope that's soon, but
wow, it was just it's just juggling your audio. Hold on. I'm waiting for it to stop. Okay, now try again.
Leslie says I'm in Australia and there's no problems here. Well, dude, you guys need.
Wow, it's bad. It's super bad.
So we're gonna bow to the power of the sun.
Wow, it's crazy. Whatever's going on.
The sun has won, and we're gonna re-record this sucker step by step. And then we are going to release it as a drop video. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it will go. And then that's just for you guys that want to draw it. The traceable's on the website. If you just want to use the traceable and paint along with your acrylics or watercolors tomorrow, the colors are Mars Black, Burnt Sienna, Phthalo Blue, and Ultramarine Blue, and Titanium Whites. It's just a very neutral painting. And it's going to be about an hour of actual painting time to do the horse because the watercolor is going to make it kind of easier for us to do in a lot of ways. So just have your watercolor paper ready. And if you don't want to use watercolor paper, you could use an aqua canvas, or you could, Frederick's makes a good aqua canvas. That's just a canvas that has a preparation on it for watery techniques, or Ampersand's aqua canvas, or Daniel Smith makes a ground, which is like a gesso, but it's called a ground, that you can brush on any canvas that you have that turns it into a watercolorable surface. So you can use watercolor or acrylics as a watercolor on those surfaces. So you don't have to have my watercolor paper. But I do have 3 other lessons on watercolor paper, and I will continue to make lessons on watercolor paper here and there. So you might as well grab some. I really think that is the best way to go because it won't warp and buckle on you. I'll show it to you again. This is the pad that I really like. This one right here for tomorrow. And we'll record, not tomorrow, Saturday. And we'll record this video.
Yeah.
So thank you for showing up today. I'm sorry we got called for solar flares. And I want you guys to be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And I hope, everybody's technology works as it needs to today. And I will catch you at an easel that is recorded real soon. Bye-bye.